Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Verna Haywood, a life coach and speaker, and the founder of Unstoppable Life with Verna Haywood, a coaching practice dedicated to helping individuals overcome self-doubt, release limiting beliefs, and step into life defined by confidence, resilience, and purpose. Through her work, Verna supports people who feel stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their potential, guiding them to reconnect with their inner strength, clarify their goals, and move forward with courage and consistency. Her coaching is grounded in mindset, self-belief, personal responsibility, and internal action. Verna, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Olivia, for asking me here. I'm very um, I'm appreciative of it. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time, and it's such a pleasure to have you here. So, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning of their journey. So, Verna, if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up the Unstoppable Life with Verna Haywood, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Okay, before I started this journey with the Unstoppable Life, I studied international spa management. I
Mm.
worked on cruise liners, um, and so I started my own spa way back in 2010.
Mm.
And of course, came the pandemic, and um, by 2018, I was feeling like something was wrong. But you're busy running around doing stuff and you're not paying any attention to yourself, even though you can sense something is wrong with you. And I
Yeah.
remember one of my staff saying to me, I think you look tired and I think you need to stop. You need to stop doing this. Your heart not in it anymore. And I said, no, I have to stick around for you guys. And then, of course, by 2019, my husband and I went on a holiday, and I felt my breast was getting larger. And we made a joke about it. And he said, let me touch it some more. And we laughed. And then, bam, came the pandemic. And it's in that moment I realized it was Mother's Day. And I realized that I was in this room and I was just crying. And I didn't understand why I was crying because I lost my mom. She disappeared about 42 years now. At that time, it was 38 years. Um, I've come through molestation, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, and everything like that. And while I was sitting here and crying my head out, because I've never cried, never really put time into crying when my mom went missing,
Yeah.
neither when I had miscarriages. So I had two miscarriages, a boy and a girl, one 6.5 months and one 6 months. And I cried once when I lost the first baby, and that was it. I just put my head down and just started doing stuff. And while here, I just heard, "You're unstoppable. Uh, you're resilient, unstoppable, resilient."
Yeah.
Um, and then reflect, revitalize, and renew. Well, reflect, revitalize, and renew is what I do because I study therapy and I've always wanted to help people be well in their own home and things like that. So that's when everything, I didn't understand it then, but after speaking to someone and I wanted to go back and teach people how to do therapy from the inside when they massaging someone. Don't do it from the outside, do it from your inner being so that the person can get that. And they said, no, that's not what you should be doing. You should be speaking and you should be teaching and telling people about your unstoppable life.
Yeah.
And that's where Unstoppable Life started. Um, yeah, So it's the journey of everything that I have been, all my experiences. So it's not based on theory, it's based on my life,
Yeah.
on what I have experienced, how I've managed to build resilience. And it's basically on my faith, my belief, my experience growing up in the Caribbean and having a tough life makes you strong when you don't think you have anyone you can trust. You rely on your faith, and your faith take you through. So it's through the pain, through the thinking you're not good enough, um, and through all the heartache that I saw a lot of women who I was speaking to, even when I'm doing my therapeutic work, were having difficulty believing in themselves and also believing that they were good enough for whatever accomplishment that they may have or is heading towards, and they want to stay bottled up. So I had a desire from a very long time to see women stand in their own power, because having gone through domestic abuse, um, where my former husband wanted to bring a gun home. You know, why would you want to bring a gun home?
Yeah.
Because he was in the army, and I'm thinking, this is not. And I just prayed and said, I'm not going 6 feet deep. My time is not here yet. And get me out of here. So before they started, get me out of here, I had said, get me out of here way back in 1996, 97.
That was your phrase, and we took it from there. And Verna,
Yes.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. That was so beautiful, and I love so much that you found that clarity with faith, and that it's taken you on this new journey now moving forward, to help other women and other people in that same position.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the business and working with other people, what is it like to work with you, Verna? Do you help people maybe on a one-to-one level, or is it more of a group environment? Like, what does that sound
I
like?
I do group environment as well as I do one-to-one.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody wanted to work self-paced, they can do that as well at their own pace. But I am
Yeah.
here to guide them, to give them that um, help that they need, because I didn't have it, so I know what it's like
Yeah.
to um, have people around you who is going to see you as an individual, see you as a person, and see your ability, and and to pour into that. So it's all about pouring into someone and seeing it blossom. So
Yeah.
if you plant a flower, it doesn't bloom the same day. It takes a while to bloom. And so you just nurture. It's all about nurturing. And if you can nurture someone, and I've nurtured people and see them bloom and see them they blossom. And
Yeah.
sometimes they're thinking, well, I don't know much, but yes, you do. And it's just helping them to build up their own belief and their own faith, and sort of like rewire their thinking, rewire
Yeah.
their brain, and start using words that will enable them to see how good they are. It's not what people can say all they want about you, but it's most importantly is, what do you think about yourself?
So
That's the
true.
key. Is, what do you think about yourself? What you think about yourself is most important,
Yeah.
because what comes out of your mouth defines you.
Yeah, exactly that. And a lot of people find themselves talking to themselves in such a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
The way they speak about themselves and do themselves, they call themselves stupid, they call themselves this, and you're
Mm-hmm.
just projecting those names onto yourself all the time. You wouldn't do that to your stranger or to a friend. So
No.
why should you not treat yourself differently? And it is about, as you
Mm-hmm.
say, watching a flower and then nurturing it so it grows and blossoms, and hopefully you get an apple tree or whatever you get at the end of it. And that's
Yes.
how and that's how good it can be when you look within yourself and find your purpose and move forward. So, Verna, how do you go about like meeting the people or the clients you like to work with? So like when it comes to marketing, how are you going about getting your message out there and connecting with
Uh,
these people?
well, how I get my message going about it is. basically I speak to people on a one-to-one. So if somebody come, I do therapies as well. So
Yeah.
I'm a qualified therapist.
Nice.
So I do massages and other holistic therapies. So during my sessions, I will find out a little bit more about them, find out what it is they are looking for in their therapy, how they plan to go about it. And I may meet somebody online like I met you on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, um, or somebody might introduce someone to me, and I get to know them from there. But what I've also started doing is I'm working with a program that I'm going to be using to put my courses on and try
Amazing.
to meet more people. So for
Yeah.
me is yes, I want to make money, I want to have all those things, but I think investing in people is the first port of call.
Yes.
Because when you can change one person's life, that person then talk to another person, and
So
that
true.
other person talk to another person. And it's just a chain reaction that starts moving. And from there, you start growing and looking at, okay, what am I going to do? Because I know my ability, I know what I am good at. So it's who else can I bring into the mix that will help me to accomplish the things that I want to do? Because how I see it going is what I'd like eventually is to have a what do you call that? A program whereby others can get help. So if let's just say a foundation. So if I had a
Yeah.
foundation and there was somebody, I don't care where they are in the world, and they needed help, they can get that help. If there is a child needing education, they can get that education. Because I was told I would never do much. I would never amount to anything. And sometimes that can be crushing. For me, it was I am not going to hold on to that. That is not for me. I know what I want to do in life. So when someone said to me, when I wanted to come to the UK at a very young age, when they asked me, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be a nurse because I saw my elder sister graduated in Holland as a nurse. And I thought, that's it. I want to become a nurse. But nursing was not for me because if I see
Yeah.
blood, I go weak. If you bump yourself, it pains me. I feel that pain go through my body. So I knew that was not for me. So what was the next best thing? I retrained as a therapist, studied travel and tourism and all those things. So for me, it's about seeing people as the number one. When you
I
see
love.
people and you can help people,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Fully, yeah. And even even as you said before, of course you want to make money, of course everyone does, but I feel like if your purpose is to help people and you do that very well,
Mm,
everything
yeah.
else will follow. You don't have to worry about anything else. If you're doing
No.
what you're meant to be doing and what God's
Hmm.
put you on this earth to achieve,
Yeah.
the rest of it will find you and the rest of it will come. So
Yes.
yeah, it's about doing what you want to do and helping people is the best thing to use
Hmm.
for your time and taking that from there.
Yes.
And clearly,
Yeah.
it's always been within you. Even if you wanted to be a nurse, that's all about helping people as well. So you just found
Exactly.
a way. You found a way to do that without having to see blood, which I understand is not a nice sight either. So I get it.
Yes.
And then
No.
so Verna, like when you think about taking the next steps in the business or what the future looks like for you, what is the end goal? Like what is that vision that you see at the end of it when you think about moving forward?
What I see at the end of it, yes, I want to end up uh, well, I do speaking engagement anyway, whether it is on podcasts or I'm doing my own podcast. I see that as speaking. Is you
Yeah.
don't have to be on a big stage to do that. If you're on a big stage, then that's great. But I remember when I spoke in London because I'm a cancer survivor. Okay. And I'm also a caregiver because my husband had a stroke a couple of months ago.
Wow.
So I am doing a lot. We don't see what everybody do, and I am the one. I don't talk about it a lot, but a friend was saying to me, "You need to tell people what you do. All the things that you do, all the things that you juggle, so that." people would understand that as a woman, you understand what they are going through. So for me, the end goal is to have, as I said, a foundation that I want to reach like if I could reach 1 million people's lives, that will be good. If I could turn 100,000 women lives around, that will be great. Having something that could leave a legacy
Yeah.
that people can get something from it, that they can help change lives. That is the most important thing, changing lives, because that's what we are here to do. As you said, the money will flow, everything else will come. But the main thing is changing lives, is helping people. I can contribute,
Yeah.
but it's up to them to decide what do they want and how do they want to change their lives.
Exactly that.
So if I hear somebody saying something negative about themselves, I will ask them why. Why are you speaking about yourself, which you mentioned recently, that they wouldn't say like that about someone else, but when it comes to them, they're very derogative about who they are and what they stand for and who they could be.
Yeah.
And if you can see it with your eyes, if you can see it with your mind eyes, if you can see it with your soul of who you are or who you are becoming, then
Mm.
nobody else can see that for you. Doesn't matter what anybody do. If you don't see it, then you can't become it.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. It's very simple. And Verna, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you, connect with you, and just find out more about all the amazing work that you're doing at the moment?
Well, I am on LinkedIn. I also have a website, verna-haywood.com. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And also, I have a podcast. I'm now getting back into bringing it back on stream. The Unstoppable Life with Verna Haywood. So all of these things is where you can find me. And if you want to come down here and have a therapeutic treatment with me, I am here on the South Coast in the middle of the Jurassic Coast on beautiful Portland in Dorset.
Yeah. Beautiful part of the world. Very beautiful.
Mhm.
So if anybody's local, please go and check out Verna. And if not, she's available on LinkedIn. Verna Haywood on LinkedIn. So please be sure to go and check out all the amazing work that she's doing. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we will see you on the next one.